These are good examples of an audience and presenter photo because the principal is not the focus of the image. The public diplomacy is the focus of the image. That is, you want to show the principal doing the public diplomacy. Too often we have photos that show image after image of our ambassador or principal in the center of every photo. We need to try to change that. We want an image that shows them engaging in public diplomacy with the focus on the impact of their acts, not just on them. As we try and get more images up on our websites or in materials, think how boring it is to have these types of photos again and again, and how much better to focus on the message that their participation is intended to convey. This is an excellent example of a good speech photo. The speaker is engaged and is shown close up. The side angle gives us more perspective. The inclusion of the portrait on the right gives us a clue about the subject of the event. That's George C. Marshall. There are no distractions from water bottles, and there's no microphone in the speaker's face. In the background, there are colorful flags that add some vibrancy. Even professional photographers don't always get the perfect picture, and that's why cropping is such a great tool. Did you get more than you needed in that shot? Are there elements that distract from the image or the message? Cropping can solve those problems and make even a good picture better. This photo goes with a story about the embassy staff abandoning their cars to ride bicycles for Earth Day. Having embassy staff and their families on bikes surrounded by blue skies, mountains, and greenery is a good image to communicate that America cares about the environment. However, there was a significant amount of concrete from the parking lot showing and a distracting spoked wheel on the right. We just need to crop this to focus less on the parking lot and more on the smiling faces and bikes and greenery. This picture shows the work of our embassy in Pristina to get children from different ethnic backgrounds to study and work together. In this photo, we have part of a little boy on the left that distracts a bit from the message we're trying to convey. And we're just far enough away from the two children for that message to lose its impact. This cropped photo draws our attention closer to the two children. We can see their faces and the dynamics that are taking place between them, thereby driving home the point of what the embassy in Kosovo is trying to achieve through this public diplomacy project. This photo shows the opening of an American corner in Poland. The inclusion of the door and the person holding the end of the ribbon distracts from the overall impact. The emphasis should be on the ambassador, the distinguished fellow ribbon cutter, and the crowd in the background. By cropping this photo, we draw the viewer's attention to where we want it. Note that photos can be enhanced, but they should not be manipulated. Manipulating photos can lead to public diplomacy issues all of their own. If you need to report that your ambassador or other embassy principals were involved in a major event, try not to use their official photos. These kind of photos do not tell a story and add little insight. If an embassy employee is being interviewed, try to show the logo of the news organization. A clever way of communicating that your principals are actively engaged with the news media is to take a photo of them on TV. This can be done by freezing the frame on your TV or computer and getting a close enough shot so that your television set or computer screen doesn't show. By doing this, you will pick up the media logo as well as the translation, thereby emphasizing the fact that they are out there communicating on behalf of our country. Another way to get a good shot of your principal interacting with the media is by taking a photo of them in the studio. Of course, you want to do this either before or after the interview. If that's not possible, take one from the green room by, again, getting close to the TV screen and taking a photo of the interview. If the interview is being done on location, have the photographer get behind the camera in order to get the principal and the media operation in the shot. This conveys the message of continuous and strong engagement with the media and our emphasis on communicating. One thing to avoid when capturing images from an event are the gag or bobsa photos. A gag photo is a grip and grin shot, and bobsa is short for a bunch of people standing, bunch of people sitting around. I know we have to take those bobsa and gag photos. They're a part of all events. They can be used in literature or on the web, but they usually don't make the best images. If you need to take them, be creative. Orchestrate the group so that it is communicating action. All it took for this photo was for someone to suggest, okay, kids in the middle and ladies, please stand behind and over here to the side, scrunch down, now big smiles. This slide also shows the problem associated with various cameras trying to take the same shot. Look at their eyes. They don't know where to look. All it takes is for you to say, okay, now everyone look here. As the photographer, you need to give direction. For example, raise your arms and say, okay everybody, put your arms up. Let's project the fact that embassy events can be fun and you don't want to miss one. Sometimes an important part of the public diplomacy challenge is to educate the policymakers within our own office, bureau, and department about public diplomacy. We need to ensure that the policymakers understand the relevance of public diplomacy in achieving our policy goals. One way to do this is to show them through images the creative things our embassies are doing. We no longer need to create generic text-only content. We can easily include our images in all newsletters, websites, or weekly highlights. If you are creating a newsletter with the headline, U.S. officials take on European television, use images that show your personnel actively engaging with the local media. Although these weekly highlights were originally created to educate the Bureau, they have since become a must-read in all of the embassies, from the locally employed staff to the ambassadors. By seeing what their colleagues in other countries are doing, our foreign service representatives are able to cross-fertilize their ideas and draw inspiration from one another. The images and text can also be used to create different products to engage different audiences. For example, this product on Muslim engagement, or this one on green diplomacy. More and more of our embassies are creating newsletters to send out by email within their country. This is a low-cost and effective way of communicating what the embassy is doing. For example, this one from Poland goes out to more than 6,000 people within the country. If your embassy does not have one, you might want to look at what other countries have done to find a style that you like. In addition to internal, external, and specific audience products, embassies are also developing their websites, Facebook pages, YouTube, and Flickr sites. Visual products have increased in importance, and the time and effort you and your staff put into getting the right image is time well spent. If your post doesn't have someone who takes pictures on a regular basis, why not have a bureau-wide photo competition to help draw attention to the importance of visual communications? Also, don't forget to add a photo credit to every photo. This not only demonstrates how important the images are, it also gives well-deserved credit to everybody who contributes to this vital part of our public diplomacy outreach. I hope these tips have been helpful. You don't need to be a professional photographer or a public relations expert to produce compelling images. We have a great story to tell. Let's tell it through the most creative and exciting images possible.